Shalom. Hallo. Yaso. La Paz. Hello. Ahoj. Sveki. Savaste. Ni hao. Namaste. Hola. Tere. Kamusta. Merhaba. Hallo. Hey. Annyeonghaseyo. Hello. Ahoj. Hola. Ciao. Bonjour. Hey. Hallo. Xin ciao. Cześć. Привет. Salut. Konnichiwa. Привет. Marhaban. Hello everybody. It's me, Redsaphir. And today I want to read you some Greek stories of Greek mythology. We will do like 5 characters maybe. I've written for 5, for 20, but I don't have that much time. You can close your eyes. Definitely close your eyes. You don't need your eyes. I'm not going to take them away, but you should close them and listen. Maybe if you don't want to learn something, you can just drift off to my voice. That's going to make you better. And if you want to learn something, that's a good way. Greek stories were always a big part of my life because I always found them very interesting, let's say, and how people try to explain stuff that's happening around the world and around them and with them, and I think they are very clever. Many of them make this Greek polytheism, Hellenism, very unique, I think. Of course, there are like different mythologies which I would love to explore too, like Nordic ones and Slavic ones, but I will get into that. Now, start with the OGs. So, first character, it's not going to be only gods characters. We have Zeus, written Zeus, king of the gods, breaker and protector of order. Zeus is the boss of the Olympian gods, but his story starts with him being almost eaten. His father, Cronus, had overthrown his own father, Uranus or Uranus. Uranus probably. In Greek it's definitely Uranus. And being warned that one of his children would overthrow him in the same way. Classic Greek pattern. You get power, then paranoia eats you alive. Cronus' solution was simple and horrifying. Every time his wife Rhea gave birth, he swallowed the baby whole. So every time his wife Rhea, because there is polytheism, gave birth, he would just yum on these babies. Rhea lost several children this way. Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Hades, Poseidon, before she snapped. When Zeus was born, she hid him in a cave on Crete and handed Cronus a rock wrapped like a baby. Cronus swallowed the stone and thought everything was fine. Zeus grew up in hiding, fed by a divine goat and guarded by noisy warriors who clanked weapons so Cronus wouldn't hear him cry. When Zeus was old enough, he came back, forced Cronus to vomit up his siblings and led a 10-year war called the Titanomachy, basically against Titans. The Olympians versus the Titans, with help from Cyclops, who forged him Thunderbolt, and some freed Titans. Zeus won. The old Titans were thrown into Tartarus, which is the deep prison of the earth where they are. If you play World of Warcraft, this is one of the again. I love mythology of World of Warcraft. It really reminds me of this Hellenistic mythology. It's definitely made by that. But if you are World of Warcraft player, I'm not anymore. I would love to be, but I don't have time. It's very juicy. So after the war, the three brothers Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades drew lots. Zeus got the sky and overall kingship. Poseidon got the sea, and Hades got the underworld. Earth itself they ruled in common in theory. In practice, Zeus acted as the ultimate authority, the god of storm, law, justice, and kingship. Zeus isn't just a thunder thrower. Religiously, he has many faces. Zeus, Xenios, protector of guests and hospitality. Zeus, Orkios, guardian of oaths. Oaths, not oaths, oath, like giving somebody oath. Zeus, Ombrios, bringer of rain. And Zeus, Polyeus, protector of the city. If you broke an oath, cheated a guest, or abused power, you weren't just a bad person. You were attacking Zeus's domain. That's why people like Sisyphus, who cheated death and betrayed Zeus, or Tantalus, who served his son as a food to the gods, suffer endless torment. It's cosmic payback for violating the order Zeus is supposed to defend. At the same time, Zeus himself constantly breaks boundaries through his love affairs. He turns into a bull. He's like bull to carry off Europa. A swan to seduce Leda. This is like the beginning of the smut. This is the ancient smut. Leda. A shower of gold to Danae. He basically gives her a golden shower. Yeah. A cloud for Io, and appears in full divine form to Semele, who burns to ash when she sees him as he really is. He kidnaps Ganymede, a beautiful Trojan prince, to be his cupbearer on Olympus. So Zeus is contradiction, enforcer of cosmic law, serial violator of human laws and family boundaries. That tension runs through Greek religion. Power keeps the world stable, but power is also dangerous and often unjust. Zeus is worshipped and feared because he embodies both. Yes, so that's what is really like smart, about that. That these gods represent real values. Real values people have, because they are like people. They are similar to people. They have sins. They have good abilities. It's really I really like that. Hera, goddess of marriage, master of grudges. is Zeus' sister and wife. So she's wife and sister, queen of the gods, goddess of marriage, legitimate birth, and the political side of queenhood. She's not just jealous, she represents what happens when the institution of marriage is constantly humiliated. In theory, Hera stands for stability of the household, loyalty between spouses, protection of women in marriage and childbirth. In reality, she's married to the most unfaithful being in the universe. Zeus cheats on her endlessly with goddesses, nymphs, and mortal women. Hera's divine personality is shaped as a reaction to that. Gay vendettas, I think it's pronounced Io, is a mortal princess of mortal priestess of Hera that Zeus falls for. To hide his affair, Zeus turns her into a cow. Hera, not stupid, demands the cow as a gift and sets the 100-eyed giant Argus to guard her. Zeus sends Hermes to rescue Io. Hermes lulls Argus to sleep and kills him. Hera moves Argus' eyes into the peacock's tail and sends a gadfly to torment Io, forcing her to wander the world. So they basically like having beef all the time with each other, and they're just solving it on the humans or somebody. They're just evil. You know, they're not evil, they're something like what French revolutionary things about aristocracy, you know, like that aristocracy class in the clouds or on the Olympus, and they can do what they want. So religiously, this kind of story explains local place names, rivers and towns, Io passes, why peacocks have eyes in their feathers. The idea that the divine punishment can drag on for years. So it's very, again, this is like somebody saw peacock that it has eyes and he made all this. Unless it's true, unless it's all true, then somebody was so creative. Like today, I'm doing like videos and stuff, I'm creative a lot, but like how many years? This would be like 10,000 years ago, almost. Oh, not 10,000, but definitely like 4,000 years ago. Somebody thought about that without writing proper. Leto and Heracles. Hera is also persecuted Leto, the mother of Apollo and Artemis, making it impossible for her to find a place to give birth. She later focuses on lifelong hatred on Heracles, Zeus' son, by Alcmene. Hera sends snakes to kill Heracles as a baby, drives him mad so he kills his own children, and manipulates events so he must perform the 12 labors under a petty, cowardly king, Eurystheus. So Hera isn't just the nagging wife, she's the weaponized rage of a humiliated queen, and the myths use that to push questions like what happens when the highest authority breaks his own rules? How long can someone live under injustice before they snap? At the same time, Hera had huge respected gods, especially at Argos, Samos and Olympia. Couples prayed to her for a stable marriage, so believers could both fear her and depend on her. If your household was threatened, Hera was a powerful protector as long as you weren't on the wrong side of her. Next one we have Poseidon, the Aquaman. No, well, yeah, the sea, earthquakes, and wounded pride. So, Poseidon rules the sea, earthquakes, and horses. He's Zeus' brother, and second only to him in raw power. His personality is basically the ocean, deep, violent, easily offended, sometimes generous. One of his most important myths is the contest for Athens. So contest for Athens. Both Poseidon and Athena want to be patron of a new rising city. The gods decide that whoever gives the city the better gift will win. Poseidon strikes the ground with his trident and produces either a saltwater spring or a warhorse. The versions differ. Athena offers an olive tree, food, oil, wood, trade. The people chose Athena because her gift is more useful long term, of course. Poseidon loses and is furious. Some versions claim he floods part of the land out of spite. The message is simple. Violent power loses to clever, sustainable benefit. It's also a political story justifying why Athens belongs to Athena, not Poseidon, despite being a maritime power. Poseidon versus Odysseus. In the Odyssey, Poseidon becomes the main enemy of Odysseus. Odysseus blinds Poseidon's son, the Cyclops Polyphemus, to escape. As Odysseus sails away, he shouts his real name and boasts about it. Polyphemus prays to Poseidon to take revenge, and Poseidon answers with a decade of storms, delays, and shipwrecks. This is religious logic. The sea is not nature, it's a conscious power that remembers insults. Every voyage depends on Poseidon's mood. Sailors prayed, sacrificed, and made vows to keep Poseidon on their side, of course, because one bad mood could sink everything. Earthshaker and horse god. Poseidon is also the earth shaker. Earthquakes are him smashing his trident into the ground. Many legends say he created the first horse, and he is tied to chariot races and cavalry. The horse is a good symbol of Poseidon, powerful, beautiful, and very dangerous if mishandled. In Greek religion, Poseidon is what you fear when you realize how small you are. At sea in a storm, when the ground suddenly moves, when crowds or armies become uncontrollable. He's not evil, but if you disrespect boundaries, he'll break things until you remember your place. And next one, I think we'll do last one, is the story of Hades and Persephone, which if you played Hades 1, I didn't play Hades 2 yet, we should do that. You know, like how it works a little bit. It's actually very decently adapted. So Hades and Persephone. I butcher lots of these names because I know them in Czech. You know, we have very well Greek stories are very well translated into Czech by Eduard Petiška. A very good book, and I loved it when I was a child. Is it Eduard Petiška? Yeah. Very good book. If you are Czech, I recommend references, I think. But even if you are old, it's very these stories are very good to know because they have lots of true stuff in them, and every time if you bring that in conversation, you will look cool, which is also very. If you try to impress your date, for example. I'm single, by the way. So Hades and Persephone, the underworld and the logic of loss. Hades is the god of the underworld, lord of the dead. Persephone is his queen. Their story is one of the core religious myths because it explains both the seasons and the emotional logic of grief. The abduction. Persephone is the daughter of Demeter, goddess of grain. One day she's out picking flowers when the ground splits open and Hades rides up in a chariot. He grabs her and drags her down into the underworld. This isn't random. Zeus has secretly agreed to give Persephone to Hades as a wife. Demeter searches for her daughter, wanders the earth, and refuses to let crops grow from grief. Famine spreads. Eventually, Helios, the sun, tells her what happened, and Demeter confronts Zeus. Give me back my child, or the world starves. Zeus compromises. Persephone can return, but she has already eaten pomegranate seeds in the underworld. Eating food in Hades binds you there in underworld. A deal is struck. Persephone spends part of the year with Hades and part of the year with Demeter. When she's above ground, the earth is fertile, spring and summer. When she's below, Demeter mourns and vegetation dies back, autumn and winter. So this is how they explain basically summer, the 4 seasons. They already had the 4 seasons. I think they definitely had. So on the religious level, this myth explains the cycle of seasons, justifies rituals around sowing and harvest, because there always is like a ritual to that. You have to imagine how boring winters had to be at that time, because you have such a short day, especially in Greece. You have like such a short day, and you don't have a light. You have nowhere to light. You just go to sleep. Or I don't know what you are doing. Puts death and loss inside a predictable pattern. Gone, but not entirely gone. When you die, your body dies. But hopefully, this what I make there. People in 1,000 years maybe will search the internet and will say, who is this guy from year 2000? Why is he whispering? And maybe somebody will say, wow, so they had problems with sleeping and stress and stuff like that back in 2025, and this guy was sacrificing his free time to help them fall asleep and teach them something about even older times, 4,000 years ago, which I think is cool. Hades himself. Hades is not a Greek devil. He doesn't tempt people. He doesn't rebel. He's more like a strict, distant ruler. Yeah. Hades is one of the bureaucrats. He makes sure the dead stay where they belong. He rarely leaves his realm. He's feared but not usually worshipped with joy. Yeah. The underworld is built in layers. Rivers like Styx, Acheron, Cocytus. The gloomy plain where most souls wander. Tartarus, a deep pit for great offenders like titans. Elysium, a pleasant place for heroes and especially favored. If you play if you played Hades, you found all of these. And it's something like heaven, hell, but in Greek it works a little bit differently. Yeah. Hades and Persephone together ruled this domain. For ordinary people, religious practice around them wasn't about being saved, but about securing a less miserable afterlife and making sure the dead are properly honored so they don't cause trouble. Like they gave money on ice for the Charon, we call him Charon, to guide you, row you. I'm doing rowing workouts now, so I'm a little bit of him to like guide you through the sticks into the underworld. And it was like believed that if you don't have these monies on your eyes, you are just stuck. So the big emotional idea here, you can't avoid loss, but you can give it structure. Persephone always leaves, but she also always comes back. And let's do the last one. I will see if I think this is enough. Next one we have Demeter. I think I have all gods and then I have some heroes. I think that's good enough. Thank you for watching. Something is vibrating. Thank you for watching and I will see you in the next video.